Hi guys, what's up? This is Mel and I'm here to talk about Supernatural, episode 1106, titled Our Little World, which premiered Wednesday, November 11th, 2015 on the CW. And I gotta say guys, we got a bit of a bombshell in this episode. So before I begin, just a reminder, if you haven't seen the episode already, please do so first. I beg of you to go watch it first before you come see my video, because I am going to spoil it and ruin the big reveal that was basically revealed in this episode, and I don't want you to do that. You got to listen to the whole thing first from the horse's mouth and then come see what I have to say or what I even think about it. I'm still shocked by it, to be completely honest. So with that said, let me get my timer started. 10 minutes, go. So what is something new that we learned in this episode? What did we not learn? I'm joking. So we learned from Sam and Dean, and they discover that Crowley has Amara when they learn that there are demons killing off her victims, like Len from last episode, to kind of cover up her little feeding frenzy. And because of this discovery, they locate where Crowley's Hell Kingdom on Earth is. Apparently it's in some abandoned asylum, and this whole time I thought all scenes of Crowley were actually in hell. Apparently not. So the brothers decide to infiltrate this Hell Kingdom in order to kill Amara. Didn't go as planned. Sam also gets another set of visions. And then we have Castiel on another mission of his own when he gets a lead on Metatron. And he gets this lead while binge watching TV. What are the odds, right? Apparently Metatron is posing as a camera operator. And his reflection got caught on one of the mirrors in one of his videos. So that's how Castiel got him. And because he went after Metatron, Castiel got the big scoop on who the darkness really is and what the connection with God is. And that was the most shocking moment of the episode for me, because guess what, guys? The darkness is apparently God's sister. Apparently the thing is, from what Metatron says, when God wanted to create the world, he had to make a huge sacrifice in order to create the world and everything that came afterwards. And that sacrifice was sacrificing his only kin, and that was the darkness, which was his sister. Didn't even think God could have siblings. Does that mean God has parents then? I thought God was the very first being out of the whole universe. And this supernatural one, at least. Apparently not. And she's a lot more powerful than we realized. At first, when Metatron was getting on about how God had to sacrifice his own kin, I thought daughter. I immediately thought Amara was going to be God's daughter. The fact that she's his sister, oh boy. So, I'm not even over that really, so let's just move on. Top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be Crowley confessing to Dean that he can't kill him, hasn't been able to after all these years when he had so many opportunities to. And the word bromance was even used, which kind of shocked Dean too. So that was great to have a little confirmation that in some way, shape, or form, Crowley could not do it. So great to know about that. Second favorite moment was that Amara saved Dean when Crowley did try to kill him. And then Amara goes even further and negotiates Dean's release from Crowley after she leaves, shocking both Crowley and Dean to begin with. And it's like, didn't think she'd go that far, but I guess what adult Amara said in the premiere is finally coming into play, I guess you can say. A third favorite moment has to be Castiel getting his hands not only on Metatron, but he also got his hands on the demon tablet because Metatron hid it under his mattress. I'm surprised Castiel even figured that hiding place out. But thankfully he did, and thankfully Metatron didn't hide it in somewhere trickier. So I'm glad we got the demon tablet back, and that Metatron wasn't able to trick Castiel into doing anything in his favor, I guess you can say. Castiel got the information he needed about the darkness. So top 3 peeve moments is actually only 2. A little minor one for this one is that Castiel let Metatron go. And the reason behind it was because he was a pitiful human now. And the moment he did anything noteworthy, I guess you can say, heaven would be down on him in an instant. I don't get why Castiel had to let Metatron go. What if they need more information from him? It's like, I get you're not supposed to keep people hostage, but with Metatron having the history of giving people the slip, then why would you let him go so easily? Okay, second peed moment, and this is the one that really irritated me, was teenager Amara and her interest in Dean. Now, I wasn't bothered by the possible attraction between Dean and Amara that we saw in the premiere episode. But then again, that was Dean with adult Amara. So even though it's the same character, it still weirds me out when the same possibility was shown in this episode with teen Amara and Dean. It's like, even though it's still technically Amara, she's still not this. It's still kind of like this two different people in my head, even though it's still technically the same character. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that she's not grown up, physically at least, or I don't know, it just weirds me out. I'm not against the whole idea of whatever relationship between Dean and Amara. It's just the stage Amara's at is what weirds me out at the moment. That's just it. So what I remember most about this episode, the reveal that God's sister is the darkness. And with that, does that mean that we're going to see God at all? Are we ever going to see that showdown between the two siblings? Because she definitely wants to settle old scores with her big brother, who sealed her away just so that he can make all these lesser creations in her eyes, I guess you can say. So here's to wondering that. Random questions though. If Amara is God's sister, then does that mean that she's meant to be as powerful as him? That's a scary thought, for sure. Next question. Teenager Amara seems to know that there is something between her and Dean, and yet she doesn't know what that is exactly, like adult Amara did. The question is, could that be because she's a teen and not fully matured to her adult self, who could know a lot more? Like certain memories only get unlocked to Amara when she reaches certain maturity levels in herself, if that were the case. It kind of reminds me of TV show Lost Girl, when Tamsin was reborn again, and she had to go from being a kid to a teenager to an adult, and as she grew, there was things that she didn't know about herself that she knew from her previous life as she grew up. Like, as a kid, she didn't know she was a Valkyrie, even though the soul of her already knew she was a Valkyrie, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's just one of those. Does it have to do with supernatural aging? Is just confusing. I'm just going to leave it at that, and hopefully you guys can answer in the comments below. Next question. Sam is getting new visions about the cage. Does that mean we'll see this cage very soon and the recipients inside it? At first, when we see the vision, you only see the grate, and then small hands going through the hole. I thought the hands might have been like teenager Amara's hands, but then we see the cage being in the same hell surrounding that Dean was in the season 3 finale, so it's making me think it's Lucifer's cage. So yeah. And last question. I'm still wondering if Dean has the mark of Cain on his arm. Not essentially the same when he had the mark. Maybe it's just a tattoo like Amara has on her chest, and not necessarily a burn mark like Dean and Cain had before. We haven't seen Dean's arm yet, so we have no way of knowing if it's there or not. Okay, predictions. Quickly. Mara, now that she's out in the world, free to walk about, I think she's going to bring chaos for sure. And I'm worried about how that's going to look. Another prediction, Michael and Lucifer. We saw the cage in the vision, so it's only a matter of time before we see the cage in real time now for Sam and Dean. So there's that. And another prediction is that Dean is keeping his conversation with adult Amara a secret, and Sam is keeping the contents of his visions a secret. So at some point, I predict that these secrets between the brothers will be revealed to each other, whether it's their choice to reveal it to each other or because a third party brings it up and reveals to the other brother that there are secrets still between them. So there's that. And not really my prediction, but based off the promo for 1107, Officer Donna returns with a case of a killer wearing a plush bunny head. You know, the mascot heads. So, yeah, and it seems like a ghost might be involved. But it's great to see Officer Donna back. We haven't seen her since 10:08, I believe, when we saw Sheriff Jody Mills at that retreat. So that'd be great. So that's about it with 30 seconds to spare. That's awesome. Okay, so what did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it and your own reactions to the fact that the darkness is God's sister. I'd love to hear about that. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, and share this with all your other friends in the Supernatural fandom family. Spread the word around. Make this fandom grow. Let's keep this going for as long as possible. Also, if you want a more detailed recap of this episode, check out my live journal account. The link for that will be down below. It's basically a play-by-play of what happens and then my real-time reaction to while I'm watching it. So there's that. Also, if you want any other news, promos, synopses, quotes, casting news, or GIFs for Supernatural, I usually reblog all of that on my Tumblr page, so those links will be down below as well. And I usually try to keep everything all in one place, so that's the place to go if you want any of those newsworthy stuff. So that's about it. So with that said, this is Mel. Wish you all a very happy Wednesday, and until next week, have a great day. Bye for now.